What is going on, Demon Slayers? Today we're back with another Diablo 4 video, guys. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of the most important things in the game, and that is understanding the monster families. We're going to be talking about what they are, who are they, where you can find them, and why it's extremely important that you understand these families so you guys can better plan accordingly to what character you're going to be picking, what place you're going to be targeting to actually farm stuff for, and what would be the best route to actually take when playing the game. So if all of this sounds super interesting, a like would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to show us just a little bit more support, do consider becoming a member. We'd be glad to have you here. So let's go ahead and jump in and talk about the monster families. There are a total of 6 different monster families. We have the Cannibal family, the Drowned family, the Fallen family, the GHOUL family, the GOATMAN family, and the Skeleton family. We're going to be breaking down each individual one of them. But before we do, let's talk about why these families are important and why you need to know about them. Well, the main thing, guys, if you ever played Diablo 3 or played any other Diablo game, you know bestiarity is one of the most important common things in the game. So not only does it help tell the narrative, it helps tell the story, and it kind of fills the overall landscape of the game. This is very similar in Diablo 4. As you guys may already know, there are multiple different areas within the game. If you don't know what those areas are, I highly recommend you check out this video that's going to be popping up right now on the screen to give you guys a better idea of all the different areas. Now, each of these areas and locations have specific tones and feels to that area. Now, each monster will be representing one of those areas. Now, what makes this important is the fact that these specific monsters will not only be regular standard monsters, but they will also be monsters found in certain arenas. That's why it's important for you to know, because when you're targeting specific loot or when you're looking for a specific item, you will know to which area to go with, because you know that specific monster will be there. Now, speaking of the monster families, within the monster families, there are different types of archetypes found within that family. So you have melee monsters, long-range monsters, you have bosses and all that stuff. But in order for us to break that all down, let's jump in and take a look at one of the families one by one and see what they have to offer and what we have to go up against. We're going to get started, of course, first with the Cannibal family. Now, the Cannibal family, guys, they are very crazy looking characters. The cool thing about them is that they'll look very familiar to you guys because they kind of look like barbarians. But these barbarians have developed quite a peculiar taste, which instead of eating regular meats or plants, they actually eat humans. They have become cannibals, and they actually feed off other humans to make sure they survive. Now, this makes for a very interesting take, because legend says that former tribe of barbarians who were vanished from a rat many years ago actually became the cannibals. Now, these particular cannibals, like I said, guys, they are shirtless. They're going to have a lot of leather in their, pretty much within their armor. They're going to be horned. They're going to have metal horns, and their weapons are mostly crude, jagged, and rustic. So this is exactly what they look like. Now, you're probably wondering, all right, Laser, that's pretty dope, but where can I actually find myself a cannibal? Where can I find one of these guys? Because I definitely want to get one of the specific weapons that I'm looking for that I can't find anywhere else. Where can I actually get that? Well, the cannibals are going to be within the Dry Steppes region. That is where mostly all of them are going to be concentrated, but theoretically, you could still find maybe a major boss somewhere roaming around a different area. But if you're looking for cannibals, that is where you need to go. The story says that the outcast brought the endless hunger to the Dry Steppes, and from there spread to 4 corners of the world to prey on lonesome caravans and unsuspected villages. Pretty crazy stuff, guys. Pretty crazy stuff. Now, what are the monster types found within the Cannibal family? There are a total of 4 different monster types. We have the Cannibal Bruiser, which currently right now we don't know its official name, but this is the largest of all the cannibals. It has dual-wielding spike clubs, and it does have a heavy attack blow, which could momentarily stun anybody that comes its way. We have the Cannibal Swarmer, which is another part of the Cannibal family. Now, the Cannibal family actually roams in large groups and quickly surrounds the player to take them out. Their attack methods are rapid strikes with their dual axes. So if you bump yourself into a Cannibal Swarmer, he's going to be with multiple Swarmers around them, and they're going to rush you as quickly as they possibly can and take you out and swinging their dual axes. Now, in addition to that, guys, we also have the Cannibal Melee archetype. Now, this particular archetype is just a regular ad, and what he does is he has a 2-handed greatsword cleavers, and the cool thing about him is that he's easily to dodge because he's one of the slowest ones of the family. But when he hits you, it actually hurts. So this melee attack is very strong. Last but not least, guys, we have the bigger version of the Cannibal melee one, and this guy sports not dual wielding axes, but he sports a very massive axe, which is a halberd. And the thing about him is when you see him, you think you're going to wait for his attack. No, guys, he's going to leap at you from a distance and smash you with that sword. So you definitely got to be on the lookout for this melee character. Alright, so next up, guys, we have the Cursed Undead, yes, the Drowned Monster family. Now, the Drowned Monster family, guys, they are a brand new addition to the Diablo series. Now, its members are composed of undead creatures that have crawled onto the shores of Scotland from the frozen sea to the north. The Drowned Monsters wear armor made of tattered rags, ropes, and rusted metal. They are led by Meredith, also known as the Drowned Witch. Pretty scary, man. Pretty scary stuff. Now, one thing that makes this particular monster family really special is the fact that they actually synergize their attacks. And you're probably wondering, Laser, what the heck does that mean? Well, there are different types of drowned monsters that are tied together, and they usually always tied in groups. And the way it works is that they try to outsmart and overwhelm the players by being able to synergize attacks and making these attacks chain together to be able to cause a massive amount of damage. Each family member has its signature ability that synergizes with the other member of the family, becoming stronger when they fight together. So this is going to be a very interesting foe, and definitely one of the hardest ones to take on, because imagine getting hit with multiple hits from each individual area, and when more monsters come, the more powerful they become. Now you're probably wondering, Laser, all right, tell me, what area do I need to avoid to not go and mess around with any of these monsters? Well, guys, like I said earlier, they come from the Scotland region, and that is where you're going to be able to find them, because they're going to be found within the watery tiles found along the coast of Scotland. You cannot find them anywhere else. So if you want to avoid them, don't go there. If you want to search them out, because you will, because of some of the weapons they have, then you're definitely going to have to go into that location. Now let's go ahead and talk about the different archetypes found within the Drowned Monster family. We have the Drowned Wretch. Basically, the Drowned Wretch are small and numerous. They're like little creatures that attack you by numbers. And not only do they attack ferociously, but they lob water crystals at you. Also, one thing to note, you're going to have to not only deal with them individually, but also when you're fighting bosses, because they seem to be present during boss fights, especially when you're fighting the Drowned Witch. Now, going from small to big, guys, we have the Drowned Juggernaut. Now, this guy is going to be the largest out of all of them within the Drowned family. He is so large, guys, that he wields a broken mast of ship, and he actually swings this mast at you like a bat. And on top of that, guys, he does a ground pound, and this ground pound not only stuns you, but it stuns you with water. Now, if that wasn't enough, guys, you're going to have to deal with two types of melee monsters. The Drowned family also has two melee monsters. We don't really have details on what their name are. We just know exactly what they look like. And from what we see in the picture, guys, it looks like one is using a bear-bed mace on one hand, and the other one is looking like he has a mace as well, but this mace actually has a hook. Now, one thing you can notice from them is that they're heavily tattooed, so when you see them, you're going to know exactly who they are because of their appearance. Now let's take a look at the Fallen. Now these are short demons that multiply. Yes, guys, you heard it correctly. Not only do we have to deal with one, but we have to deal with multiple. These are demons of the Fallen monster family, are perhaps the most iconic in all Diablo. So if you play Diablo, you know who these little guys are. Now they appear in every Diablo game and often near the beginning of the game. Now the Fallen Shaman is the most memorable and of course the most frustrating Fallen of them all, because he spawns new demons every handful of seconds if not dealt with. Now, with that being said, guys, there are multiple other Fallen family members that are going to be making a way into Diablo 4, so let's talk about them. Now, if you want to avoid them, guys, I'm going to tell you guys the region they're going to be spawning in, and if you guys are looking for like a one-handed sword or a really good weapon, then this is the region you're going to want to go to. You're going to find them in the Kazakhstan region. Now, there are, of course, 4 different types of ones. We're going to take a look at the handful of members of the Fallen family that we have seen in footages, of course, and also screenshots. First and foremost, we have the Fallen, which is the regular Fallen demon, and by far the most common one and the weakest one of all the Fallen family. This is someone that you should be familiar with if you played any Diablo game. Of course, they're going to be wielding a variety of weapons, but mostly a shield, and they could spawn by the Fallen Shaman. So these are the ones that come out and spawn, which have a little sword and have a little shield. Then we have the Fallen Overseer. Now, this particular Fallen, guys, is definitely a lot larger than the first Fallen one that we talked about, and he does deal a little bit more damage. Typically, a pack of regular fallen demons will have 1 or 2 fallen overseers supervising the grunts. So basically, this is the leader of the bunch. Then we have the fallen lunatic. Now this particular one, guys, is one of the most annoying ones because they will quickly approach you, and once they get in very close proximity, they will detonate a bursting bubble on their back to inflict a large amount of damage. These guys are really annoying to deal with. Then we have the fallen shaman. This one, guys, is the one that you want to be looking out for, because this one, if you don't kill him, he'll keep spawning people over and over and over again. And basically, he likes to keep a distance. He has the ability of casting fireballs at you and routinely spawn new and regular fallen. So you definitely want to take care of him as quickly as we possibly can. Alright, so the next one, guys, we have the Idol of the Imp. Now, this particular one, guys, we don't really have really good information as to how often he spawns or where he actually comes with the enemy, but we do know what he actually does. He provides every fallen monster a boost to their stats while he still remains standing. So targeting him and targeting the shaman are going to be your #1 priority when fighting the fallen. Next up, guys, we have the ghoul. Now, the particular ghouls are very zombie-like type creatures. Now, you've seen them in previous Diablo games, but if you think of ghouls, just think of zombies. They pretty much raise from the dead after they feed on the corpse. They seem to be very fast monsters and actually congregate in very large groups. Now, there isn't no 100% confirmation that Blizzard has come out and given any details about the ghouls, but we're 100% sure that they're actually in the game because we have screenshots of them, and we also have stuff that was pre-alpha that was within the files. Now, for the ghoul monster family, we have 2 different images looking at 2 different ghouls. We have the first one, which is called the Ghoul Bruiser. Now, he is pretty interesting because he is a lot larger than other ghouls that we've seen before, and it wields a very massive great sword with a wavy blade. We can also see a bat by its side, which we don't know if it's a companion or if it's a separate additional monster part of the ghoul family. Then we have the ghoul swarmers. Now these are going to be people that travel, or zombies that travel, or ghouls that travel in a very large pack, and what they do is they try to swarm at you and rush towards anybody that comes their way. Basically, their main objective is just to overwhelm you and kill you as fast as they possibly can. They are smaller in stature than the bruiser and are easier to kill, but as you guys see within the bruiser image, they also travel with the bruiser as well. So very interesting, guys. These guys are going to be a little bit of pesky and very annoying. Alright, guys, next we have the Goatman, and these are half goat, half men, as the name suggests. And the Goatman is a combination between a goat and a human, and something called Khazara. Now, these particular half man, half goat actually roam sanctuary in different regions and always are part of very large clans. They have the Blood clan and they have the Ice clan. They utilize many types of weapons and have unique abilities based on which clan they actually belong to. Now, where do the Goatmen spawn, especially if you're looking for very unique weapons? The Goatmen clans are known to live in various environments around Sanctuary, but so far, the only regions we are 100% sure confirmed that you will find them is in the Scotland region. Now, the good thing is that we actually have a lot of really good information about the Goatmen, mainly making us think, based on the pre-alpha footage, that these are going to be early creatures that we're going to encounter very soon. We have the Goatman Marauder. Now, this particular one, guys, is the weakest out of all the Goatmen. The Marauder usually just carries a one-handed axe, but he's easily defeated. Then we have the Goatman Impaler, which carries a long-barreled spear that can be thrown at you. So do keep in mind, guys, he is going to be a very distant player that's going to be able to launch these attacks at you. Then we have the Goatman Mauler. Now this one is going to be larger than the normal Goatman. He's a little bit bigger, and this one actually deals a ton of damage with a one-sided axe. Then we have the Goatman Shaman, and this is the one that you definitely want to make sure you kind of prioritize primarily, because the Goatman Shaman casts spells depending on the clan type from very far away. At close range, it can attack players with its staff, but you definitely want to take sure and prioritize him because he's the one that kind of controls all the Goatmen. So you want to make sure prioritize them and kill him as quickly as you possibly can. Alright, last but not least, guys, we have the skeleton monsters. Now, these guys are slow, undead hordes of bones, and skeletons have been around Diablo since Diablo 1, and of course, they're making a return into Diablo 4. Now, these particular members of the monster family are very slow-moving, but skilled in variety of weapons and spell-casting abilities. So, just because they're slow doesn't mean you don't have to worry about them. Now, if you want to avoid them, you're not going to want to go here, but if you want to actually find them and find some very interesting weapons that they could spawn with, they're going to be located in the Fracture region. Now, there are a couple of different types. We have the skeleton regular type Now the character regular type, this is the most common and the most weakest one. This is just one simple variant, very slow with one weapon, and it just automatically moves out like towards you. Just think about a zombie. Then we have the skeleton archer. This is the ones that are going to be extremely annoying because these particular ones wield a crossbow and attack from far. So imagine the skeletons, the normal ones, just coming at you and then having these guys actually aiming at you and throwing bows and arrows, which could be a little bit annoying. Then we have the skeleton ballista. Now the ballista are large bow-covered skulls which are going to be launching bones and shooting powerful projectiles towards you. So you're going to be getting overwhelmed with just the regular ones, but all these people throwing bows and arrows are going to be quite annoying. Then we have the skeleton two-hand. Now this is going to be the one that's a little bit more interesting of the other ones because this one utilizes a two-handed weapon like a very large axe. This one does a little bit more damage and is one of the most common ones available. Now these are all the monster families we know that are going to be part of Diablo 4. Now if you guys want to know, guys, how massive and how big the open world is and what other regions are in the game where you can find the majority of these enemies, definitely check out this video where I cover the open world of Diablo 4, and you're definitely going to want to make sure you watch that video so you can know even more in depth on all the cool stuff and amazing stuff that we're going to be able to do in Diablo 4. I hope you guys are enjoying our content here for the channel. You are doing the huge favor, guys. Drop a comment, drop a like, but most importantly, subscribe to the channel, turn on all those notifications, and if you want to go the extra mile, do consider becoming a member. It'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys on the next video.